Boarding Group 9. Final call. You sprint, clutching a coffee, eyes on the jet bridge, then the gate agent smiles. Carry-on won't fit. That'll be a fee. Meanwhile, the seat you didn't pay to choose is sandwiched between a toddler and the lav. And somehow every normal seat turned preferred overnight. None of this is random. Airports and airlines choreograph your emotions. Urgency, relief, FOMO. So you'll pay for speed, space, and certainty you used to get for free. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, you'll see how bargain fares are engineered upsells, how seat maps pretend to be full, why on time doesn't always mean what you think, and the single line on your rights that can turn a ruined trip into real money. Let's pull back the curtain. Think airlines live and die by ticket prices? Not anymore. The modern model is simple. Sell you the seat cheap, sell you everything else at the airport. Bags, early boarding, seat selection, in-flight Wi-Fi, food, even priority security. This is the new profit center. It's called ancillary revenue, and it's not pocket change. It's a strategic shift. Here's the trick. Once you've chosen dates and mentally committed, the site drips options. You've already invested time. Now the upsells feel small compared to starting over. At the airport, the psychology continues. Stress spikes. Will I make it? Will my bag fit? And you're nudged to pay to remove pain. A fee to skip a line, a fee to guarantee a bin, a fee to sit with your partner. Even credit cards double as fee keys. Free checked bag, if you get the card. Airlines also price fees to make the base fare look heroic. A $79 flight sounds incredible until a carry-on, seat, and boarding adds $60. You don't feel gouged. You feel customized. That's by design. In a minute, I'll show you the most seductive upsell of all. Basic economy, the bargain that's built to make you upgrade. Drip pricing is the slow reveal. First the fare, then bags, then seat, then optional add-ons that feel mandatory. Each step reframes your decision. I've come this far. What's 10 more bucks? Airports echo this with pay-to-play shortcuts. Express lanes that exist because regular lanes are under-resourced. You'll also hear junk fees, charges that don't clearly match a service or are presented late. Even where rules require disclosure, the timing matters. If a key fee shows up near the end, you're more likely to accept it than abandon the cart. Watch the language. Recommended, limited, protect, guarantee. These words trigger loss aversion. Humans fear losing a good deal more than paying a little extra. Quick guardrail. Before you click Continue, total everything you need: bag, seat, change flexibility. Compare that all-in price to another airline's all-in price. You'll be shocked how often the cheapest flight isn't. Basic economy looks like a killer deal. It's actually a carefully placed speed bump. You're shown a locked-down fare with strings. Last to board, limited or no carry-on overhead space, no advanced seat selection, change restrictions after the 24-hour grace period, and often no elite credit perks. The point isn't to sell basic, it's to make the next fare up look safe. Notice the wording at checkout. Arrive with confidence, sit together, bring your full-size carry-on. Those aren't features, they're ransoms for comfort. Gate penalties make the lesson sting. Bring a full-size bag on a basic ticket, and you can be charged a gate fee plus the bag fee. After one experience like that, most people never risk it again. Smart play. If you truly travel light and don't care where you sit, basic can work. Otherwise, compare the cost of upgrading to the main fare now versus paying a la carte later. The structure is designed so the upgrade looks like a relief. That's not an accident. Here's a gut punch. Many families pay seat fees purely to avoid being split up on tickets that still don't guarantee seats together. Policies vary, but the pressure is the point. At booking, you'll see warnings like, "Seats together not guaranteed unless you pay." In practice, agents often try to help at the gate, but parents pay early because the risk feels unbearable. Your move. Book early and pick seats the moment they open, even if they're not perfect. Keep checking. Free seats often reappear close to departure. If you're placed apart despite reasonable effort, be polite, firm, and persistent at the airport. Agents can override more than the website suggests. Ever see a seat map that looks almost sold out, then magically loosens a day before departure? Welcome to Scarcity Theater. Many airlines hold back free seats or label ordinary ones, Preferred. Creating a sense of urgency. When you believe only middle seats remain, you're more likely to pay for a window, or pay anything to avoid the middle. Watch for color coding and language. Extra legroom gets a premium, fair. But preferred might simply mean further forward. On short flights, that's rarely worth it unless you need a fast exit. Pro tip: check the map again after online check-in opens and at T24/T12 hours. Inventory often returns as elites lock in their picks. Set alerts with the airline app, and don't be shy about asking at the gate. Boarding groups are theater with a purpose. The earlier you board, the more likely your bag gets overhead space, and the less your pulse spikes. Airlines monetize that calm. Status tiers, credit cards, paid upgrades. All roads lead to earlier groups. Here's the emotional nudge. You see late groups waiting. You see bins filling. You imagine gate checking your bag and waiting at baggage claim. Suddenly, that $29 priority option feels like self-care. If you fly a few times a year with a carry-on, it can be rational. But if you always check a bag, paying for early boarding rarely changes your outcome. Try this. Wear a small backpack that fits under seat, keep valuables inside, and board whenever your group is called without panic. Anxiety sells. Calm saves. Airlines sell more seats than exist because, on average, some passengers don't show. Most days it works. Some days you're the tiebreaker. When a flight oversells, staff first ask for volunteers. This is a real auction, just with smiles. Offers climb, a voucher, then cash, then hotel and meal if overnight. If you're flexible, you can win big by timing your yes. Tips: don't jump at the first number. Ask, is that the final offer? Quietly check the next flight's seat map. A near-empty one makes a bump smoother. Verify whether the compensation is cash, voucher with blackout dates, or airline currency. If you're involuntarily bumped, there are rules for cash compensation based on delay length. Don't leave without written terms. If your plans are rigid, protect yourself. Avoid tight connections on oversold hub-to-hub evening flights. But if you love a deal, travel with a cushion and play the game. Later, I'll show you one more lever, your rights in the US and EU that most passengers never claim. You land early and cheer until you taxi for 25 minutes and the door opens exactly on time. That's schedule padding. Airlines add buffer minutes to flight times to improve on-time stats you see in ads and booking sites. It isn't evil, operations are complicated, but it changes your strategy. A padded schedule can hide shaky performance and make tight connections look safer than they are. Don't trust a 35-minute dash through a giant hub because the timetable says legal. Build your own buffer, especially at airports with long taxi times or chronic delays. One upside: padding helps late flights arrive on time. One downside: it steals time from your day. Knowing this, you can plan smarter connections and avoid being the person sprinting while your bag enjoys the scenic route. Ever notice how some terminals force you through a maze of perfume and whiskey right after security? That's not decoration. It's a revenue funnel. You've just cleared a stressful checkpoint. Your brain craves a reward. The path winds to slow you down. Scents and displays nudge impulse buys, and limited-time signs trigger fear of missing out. Food courts, too, are placed so lines look longest at the closest options. Walk a few more minutes and you'll often find quieter spots with better prices. Download your airport map in advance, know your gate area, and set a timer to get to the boarding door with calm. Not with a $40 "I survived security" snack haul. You've hoarded points for a free flight, then the taxes and carrier-imposed surcharges total more than a cash fare on another airline. Ouch, that's by design. Many programs add co-pays and fees that turn awards into partial cash fares. Sometimes it's still a deal, especially in premium cabins. Often, it isn't. Watch for married segment logic. A seat might be available from City A to City C only if you also fly A to B to C. Search leg by leg to reveal hidden options, then try to stitch them together, or call and ask an agent to price it. Also, check partner airlines. The same flight can cost wildly different miles depending on whose points you use. Bottom line, before you transfer points or click redeem, Compare the real, all-in cost versus a sale fare. Points feel free, they're not. Use them where cash is obscene and fees are minimal. If you're denied boarding involuntarily in the US, you may be owed cash based on how late the airline gets you to your destination, often hundreds of dollars. For long tarmac delays or lost bags, there are caps and timelines. Document everything, get promises in writing, and don't settle for vouchers unless you want them. Flying to, from, or within the EU, including many European carriers, EU 261 rules can grant fixed cash compensation for long delays and cancellations that are the airline's fault, sometimes even when you were rerouted and arrived hours late. Weather and air traffic control issues are usually exempt. Mechanical failures often are not. Key move: screenshot your original itinerary, the delay length, and reasons stated by staff. Politely use the magic words, "I'm requesting compensation under applicable rule." Attach boarding passes, receipts, and keep your tone calm. Airlines respond faster to organized claims than to rants at the gate. Here's your anti-trick toolkit. Price the whole trip, not the fare. Build a quick spreadsheet. Fare plus bag plus seat plus change, flexibility plus airport transfers. Compare totals across airlines and times. Flex by a day or airport. Shifting a departure by 24 hours or using a secondary airport can crush prices and reduce crowds. Book seats early, then recheck. Free seats often reappear at T24/T12. Set reminders. If you paid for a seat and a comparable free one opens, move and request a refund. Carry less, carry smarter. A soft, compressible under-seat bag dodges gate check drama. Put chargers, meds, and essentials inside. Know when to pay. On long flights, a small seat fee can transform your day. On short hops, save the cash. Use cards for value, not status. Perks that genuinely save: first checked bag free for a family, lounge during long connections, can beat chasing early boarding for its own sake. If chaos hits, be first in line, digitally. Stand at the gate and call the hotline and message the airline app. Take the first workable option. You can improve it later. Play this way and fees become choices, not traps. The airport isn't neutral ground. It's a stage. Scarcity queues, padded schedules, serpentine shops, and fine print all push you toward spending. But now you've got the playbook. Total the real cost, choose when to pay and when to walk past, and claim the compensation you're owed when things go sideways. If you learned even one money-saving move today, imagine what your next trip looks like when you use them all. If this helped you travel smarter, smash that like button, subscribe for more behind-the-scenes breakdowns, and share this with the friend who always overpays at the gate.